Hi everybody, this is Stackr and it's a real-time stock trading app where you can see how the stock prices go up and down. So here we can see just a general market overview of 1 year, 3 months, etc. We have JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, MasterCard too. We can change it to technology. We can have Apple, Google, Microsoft, Meta, then services, Amazon, Alibaba, AT&T. Okay, we did a heat map, and this heat map has each of these companies divided into broader. So like here we have electronic technology, which includes NVIDIA, Apple. Here we have technology services, which include Google and Microsoft and Meta. And here we have finances, which, well, JP Morgan, Visa, MasterCard. Then Amazon retail, we can click on them, we can go further in depth. We can also see the price, we can see the market cap, and we can see the change. So we can also do this if you really want to. And here we have a market data. So here we can see all of the financial stocks like JP Morgan. And here we can see the technology and services. So it's essentially a part of this market overview just with more companies and more in depth. And it also gives you values, change, and what was the high, what was the low, and what was the previous. Here we also have like top stories regarding news, like Nvidia stock off 5% this year. Okay, we have a watch list. So how does the watch list work? You might be wondering. So this is what we do. Like we're just gonna use one of these. We just use Apple. Okay, it gives us the change of the stock in Apple. It tells us whether to sell it or not, and it gives us the graph. And with the graph, one of the fun things we can do is we can change it. So if you don't like it, we can do columns, or we can do this, and we can also have various other indicators. So we can do VP trend, we can also do Bollinger Bands, etc. And you can also like move it around just to see. We can also make it a by 30 minute, or we can do like 1 hour. And we just have we can also do medium momentum, and here we can see when is the next earnings report, which is in 39 days. We can see the volume, and we can see like the dividends and how much you're gonna get, the payout ratio, and the last ex-dividend payment. We can see the income statement annually or quarterly, and we can also see the performance by the year, the month, or even the week. And if we do this, we can just add it to the watch list. So if we go back to the watch list, we're just gonna have it right there now. This is our portfolio, which we can just add, like we can do Apple, and then we can say we have share, and let's just say that average cost per share was 100. So now it just shows up, and you can do this, and it's gonna tell you how much you invested and average position size. We can also have an alert. So let's say we were looking at Tesla, and our condition is when the price goes above 200 that we should sell, or it can be vice versa and that we should buy. And here we have the tools. This is just the dividends, and the tools are the most unique part. It's what makes us different from other apps, because there's various apps like this. Like for example, if we go to Investopedia simulator, if we go right here, just log in. We're just waiting for the code to upload. But even we don't have to log into Investopedia, we can just show you. And if we just leave it at that. So this is how it looks. There's a personal finance, but one of the things they really lack is just the graphs that we have and how much of the tools we can do as opposed to them Theirs is like really broad and just more of news. And there's also the simulator, which I wanted to show, but it's taking a little bit of time. So then now we can move to our simulator. We can say that we placed a trade at Apple for one share of 10. Well, that's a lie. Well, more like 80. And then it shows up here. It tells you you invested 80, and we just automatically give you 100,000 in fake money. Okay, and then here we can see the stock leaderboard. We can see like which are the top gainers and which stocks are not performing that well. So we're just gonna give it a minute, and it should update. So here we can see the top gainer right now is Google. It went up 4.15%, and the biggest loser in this case would be Tesla, which went down negative 2.88%. So we can see all the top gainers. We can see all the ones that are not doing so well, and we can see also the most volatile. So now we go to pattern recognition. So let's say we're trying to analyze Meta. It shows us the graph, tells us how much it went down, and obviously right now the market is closed. And it gives us, we use AI to get this, and it just analyzes like the previous and how the stock has been doing relatively. And right now we see that it did not detect any like common stock patterns, so it just comes up as 0, and like we can see this as 55%. So like it's more of the iffy side. And then we can do a strategy builder, which we can do buy rules and sell rules. I'm just gonna do this. We can run the back test, and we can see here the strategy, the benchmark. We can see the worst trade will be negative 7.1%, and we can see that it outperforms. We can see the one rate is 54%, total trades is 28. So now we can go to like why did it move. So like if we go to Microsoft, we can see why a stock either went up in price or it decreased in value. So we can see that it obviously decreased, and it tells you key price drivers. And now if we can move to the smart money, and we can look at strong buys. Just gotta give it a minute to upload. So here we see a score of 8 confidence, and we can see that it's a high. We can see Apple and Visa are like strong buys right now, and we can see that it's bullish, so it's increasing in value, and we can detect the pattern that it is. So in Apple, it's right now it's a cup and handle, and Visa just has no pattern. And we can look at the price target, and it tells you what this suggests. And yeah, you can also like do it for sell, hold, buy, and all type of signals. Okay, now if we can also go to the financial planner, and here we can just have like a short term, and we're trying to invest, and we want to get at least like 2,000 from investing. So here we see to maximize long-term portfolio, it gives us these two suggested shares and estimated proceeds, and it tells us the tax implication. So like it says selling one share at an average of 100 will generate 100, realizing a short-term capital gain. And retaining the second share purchased at an average cost of 80 preserves my high risk and allows for future appreciation. Okay, and the thing that really defines us and sets us apart, I would believe, is the search bar and the AI advisor. So here with the AI advisor, we can see it tells us we previously have like on the portfolio, we says that we have the holdings. So now I just told it to analyze what we have on the holdings, and to give me a buy or sell or hold recommendation with like looking at news, looking at the prices, and looking at like things that could influence the market. So here the AI tells us, the chatbot tells us to hold it and that it could be a good long-term investor. So we can see the confidence level is high, the reasoning, it gives you key news like channel market, aggressive product launches, and it tells you analysis. So we can see that in the short term, we might gain some, like the stock will go up a little bit, but we can see that we really get the most profit maximization from looking at the long-term outlook. So yeah, that's essentially what Stackr does, and that's how we are different than various other apps. It's mostly due to our tools and the things that we can do that other apps don't offer. Like Investopedia has a similar format. However, one of the issues is that they don't use AI, and AI can really be helpful in analyzing trends and predicting what could happen. So I hope you like this demonstration and thank you for the opportunity.